Frankie from Flatbush, reporting from Frankie from Flatbush headquarters on the Denver Broncos. We got these Denver Bronconians coming into JetLife Stadium. They're used to playing at a altitude of what, 3280 mile high stadium over there. Well, now they got to come down to the swamps of Jersey. See how they like it. We got the big brain genius Sean Payton coming in here, and Vance Joseph, and all these people. Well, how are we going to do against these Bronconians? What's going to happen? Who are these people, anyways? Well, I figured we'll do a little game preview. We'll figure out who they are, how they've been playing, and then we'll see them on film to get a look at what they're going to do to attack us on Sunday. We got a Sunday 1 o'clock game, and this game is very important for the Jets because then after that we got to go to London town and figure out how to beat these Minnesota Vikings with Sammy Darnold slinging the rock all around the field. So not going to be easy. Got to go to London and got to face off against Coach Brian Flores on the defensive side, and that's no easy task. And so we got to have this one. I would say this is a must-win, must-win game. There's just no two ways about it. All right, so let's take a look at who these Denver Broncos have on their team. Let's see if we can share a screen, figure out how to do this over here, and go like that, and see if this works. Okay, so you see here their head coach, of course, Sean Payton. But their offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, that doesn't matter because he calls the plays. He's the big brain genius. We pay him $18 million to coach this team. So we better get some results. The Walmart people are saying they own the team. This is the Walmart Broncos now. The defense coordinators, Vance Joseph, and special teams, Ben Katwika. Okay. So you look at their team. This is the offense here. And you can see they have some decent wide receivers, but nothing to really write home about. Depth is a bit of a problem for them. Josh Reynolds has been very good. Cortland Sutton is an interesting guy to watch on film. He's a guy who never gets separation. And you go, well, wait a minute. Isn't a wide receiver's job to get separation? Well, normally, yeah. But that's not his game. He's sort of like DeAndre Hopkins. He's never open, but he can still catch the ball. So this guy, he is all about his hands. He has great hands. He can snatch that ball just like DeAndre Hopkins. Even when he's not open, he's open. So he's not going to beat you with speed, not going to beat you with route running. What he's going to do is catch the ball if it's anywhere near him. So you got to make sure you play through the catch at all times because it's going to be, that's his game. You got to try to knock that thing out of there, but it's hard because he's so good at that. Josh Reynolds has been their most productive receiver, and they also have these other guys, a little Jordan Humphrey. Troy Franklin's the speedster. You'll see him do some bombs, long bombs to Troy Franklin. He was a teammate of Bo Nix, the quarterback. So there's that. Then you have Mims. He's been disappointing. And Vele, he's a rookie. All right, now this offensive line, not too shabby. Better than the Patriots one that we saw last week, but also not too great either. Bowles used to be a penalty machine. He's cut down on that. And these other guys have played pretty well. So this is a decent line. They lost McGlinchey. Okay, he was a big loss. The right tackle. Now they got Palczewski playing over here. Not a lot of depth. Pert's not very good. Crumb's a rookie. So if they suffer any more injuries, they'll be devastated. But as it is, this is decent and better than what we faced against the Patriots. Their main tight end is Dulcich. He's the athletic one. Then you got Troutman, who came over from New Orleans. He's all right. Then you got Bo Nix is the quarterback. You got Stidham over here and old Zachy Poo, third stringer. We'll take a look at Bo Nix and see what he's been up to. Now, the interesting thing with their running back situation, Javonte Williams, you'll remember he's the teammate at North Carolina of Michael Carter. They came out at the same time. And he had a great rookie season, and then he got injured, and then ever since he came back from his injury, he's been struggling, and no one really knows why. It's a mystery. Even the Denver people, the media people, don't understand what is going on with Javonte Williams. He's not his old self yet. So he's either recovering from injury or he just lost it from that injury. No one is really quite sure. So what they're doing is they're giving way more playing time to Jaleel McLaughlin. Now, McLaughlin, if you haven't seen him play, he's a little scat back, and they were hoping for a good 1-2 punch with these two. But it's more like McLaughlin is on the field a lot, number 38. And he's fast, he's quick. Now, he's a good little back, so you got to be mindful of him, but he's not going to give you the power that Williams has. They also give some playing time to Tyler Badie, who they just signed to the regular roster. So that's the offense. Hasn't been performing that well. It performed a lot better in the last game that they played than the first two. Now, the defense is the strength of the team for sure. You look at this line here, it is pretty decent. You know, they got Zach Allen's going to get pressures. Nick Benito is like a Josh Uche type. He's going to get you pressures quick, quick, quick. This guy is off the edge, so you got to watch out for him. Zach Allen's sort of a big end, and he gets pressures. Then they got the run stuffers, Jones and Franklin Myers. And frankly, they don't play him as Franklin Myers as much as I thought they would. At least they didn't in the last game. And I want him back. If they lose this game and go 1-3, can we have JFM back? We'll make it. If you go 1-3, if we beat you, take a fourth round pick for Franklin Myers. We need him. You don't. Can we get him back? That would be nice. That was a bad trade. Okay. So now the linebacking core. So they list Jonathan Cooper as a linebacker. He's on the end a lot. He will rush the passer a lot. So Cooper and Bonito, I would say, and Allen are their main pressure guys as far as getting all up in your face. And right now, their linebackers, their interior linebackers are these two. This freaking unit has taken a hit lately. Their main guy, Singleton, Alex Singleton or Singletary. Let's take a look. I forget. Singleton, Alex Singleton. He was their main guy. He was their volume tackler, out for the season, ACL. So now they got Cody Barton from Washington, and this guy, Justin Strinadron. Don't even know who that is really. So they're a little weak there because of injury. Let's see how they compensate for that. In other words, we may get more dime or nickel looks to get fewer linebackers on the field. If that's the case, we got to run the hell out of the ball. Now, their defensive backfield is really good. They got Pat Surtain, of course. He's one of the best two or three corners in the league, depending who you ask. These two gentlemen have been playing very well. The safety combo, surprisingly so. Nobody thought much about P.J. Locke and Brandon Jones, but they've been playing well. And Riley Moss, this guy, second-year player, really pops on tape. He makes a lot of nice plays. Very quick, fast, good technique. Riley Moss is somebody to watch. So if you think about it, and Surtain's an all-pro, so, I mean, you look at this unit. They even got some decent backups here. I'm not sure what does red mean? Injured. Oh. Why is he on the team? Well, so Skinner, who knows? Maybe he's not on the injured reserve yet. But a lot of people like Skinner coming out of college. Levi Wallace is a guy that you get from Pittsburgh. He's got some experience and so forth and so on. But this is a good unit. It's a good unit. And let's talk about what they're going to do. When we go to the film room, we're going to look at the offense. But what does Vance Joseph want to do? He wants to be aggressive. Okay, he's going to send a lot of blitzes. Okay, he's going to do a lot of sim pressure. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. No, I'm not. I'm going to back out. So you're going to get a lot of amoeba fronts. You're going to get 5 down, 6 down. He's going to play games like that. And he's going to be super aggressive. He's going to blitz a lot. So this is going to be a mind game between Aaron Rodgers and Vance Joseph. When are they coming? When are they not? Where are they coming from? Are you sending a corner blitz? Are you sending a slot blitz? What are you doing, Vance? But the idea is he wants to be aggressive and he lives with the risk of getting burned. So this could be an opportunity for some big plays down the field for the Jets offense. If you're seeing us take shots and hitting them, well, that means obviously we're winning. If you see Rodgers on his backside all game, well, then Vance Joseph is winning. And our offensive line and our protection scheme's not so hot. Maybe that's an obvious point. Their special teams, nothing really special about them. Good punter. Will Lutz will hit his field goals unless they're really far out there. This is a guy from New Orleans, so he makes his kicks, no problem. And, nothing really special here. You see that they have been hit by injuries, especially recently. McGlinchey is a starting tackle for them. Audric Estime is a guy a lot of us liked from Notre Dame coming out of the draft. Baron Browning is an important linebacker. So now between Browning and Singleton being out, Singleton number 49, you see him all over the field with the flowing hair and everything like that. These people are big time people. McGlinchey's a starter, Singleton's a starter, Browning's a starter, and these guys are all out. So that's no good for them. Okay, but how have all these people been playing? Let's look at the grades. All right. Well, here's the defense. Got that up first. You can see their best player has been Brandon Jones. Their second best player has been PJ Locke. So their safety tandem, who are kind of no-name guys, not very well known in the league so far this year, have been their best players. So that's interesting, and we'll see how Vance Joseph wants to deploy them. You can see even PJ Locke has a good pass rush grade, which means even though he just has one pressure, probably coming on blitzes sometimes. So we got to watch for that. But here's Riley Moss is their third graded. So you can see their defensive backfield, and then they got a third safety in here. Their defensive backfield is their strongest area. Now, you notice somebody's not at the top of this list, and his name is Pat Surtain. So what's going on with Pat? Well, he does not have a good grade this year. He doesn't even have a good coverage grade. So that tells me what's going on here. We'd have to do a deep dive to figure out why is PFF not high on Pat Surtain. I would not take these grades as gospel. We use them to give us an idea of what's going on. But sometimes you see weird stuff in the grading. And anybody who says Pat Surtain is not a good cornerback because look at his PFF grade, well, no, I'm sorry. That's not going to fly. Now, we might, like I said, you might want to do film study to see what's going on. And with defensive backs, there's all kind of zones and things. So sometimes they put things on the defensive back that shouldn't be theirs. You look at his tackling. He's tackling well. He doesn't have any missed tackles, 0%. Run defense, he's coming up and playing run D. So this is really all about his coverage grade. So you'd have to do deep film study to really understand what's going on here. But if anybody thinks I'm going to look at a PFF grade to tell me that Pat Surtain stinks, sorry, that doesn't work. Again, we just use the grades to give us an idea of what PFF thinks of them and to get an idea of what's going on because you can't watch to film study on every single person on every single team that we're playing. So this is a shortcut, but with any shortcut, there's problems. Now, one of the things that's not a problem is you could look at who is leading the team in pressures, for example, very easily, which we'll do now. And you can see, like I said, these are their main dudes right here as far as pressure is concerned. Zach Allen, 18 pressures, 3 sacks, so forth and so on. Jonathan Cooper. Anybody who's named Jonathan and they use an O at the end, I call them Jonathan. Like a marathon of Johns. Jonathan Cooper is second, 11. This dude is long and lean. You'll see him out there. He's tall and lean, and he looks like a monster. I don't know what I'm drawing here, but you'll notice Jonathan Cooper. He's just very well proportioned for an athlete, and you notice him right away out there. And he's second on the team with 11 pressures, so he's tough to deal with. And then you got Nick Benito has less of a role. You see his total snap count is lower than these fellas. So he comes in and he's more situational. He's like Josh Uche with the Patriots, okay? When he comes in and rushes the passer, okay, you got to worry about him. When he drops out, you throw a party. You say, okay, great. We don't have to worry about him pass because his real forte is rushing the passer. And then they haven't had much luck with anybody else, but those are their main three. And you can even see a guy like John Franklin Myers, who I want back on our team, has not graded out well, for example. But I'm not worried about that in terms of us getting him back. We know how to use him. Maybe the Broncos, maybe Vance Joseph isn't sure how to use JFM. I don't know. He only has 66 snaps, so he's not getting a ton of playing time. But, he hasn't graded out well. And I would say, let's get him back, Joe. I don't care what his grades are. Um, so that's interesting. So that's who are the leading players on their team. You see how the rest of them graded out. Um, you can sort this by grades, and you can see who hasn't been playing. Even Zach Allen, with all of his pressures, isn't grading out well totally. They have, and that's basically. But this is not an easy defense. And Vance Joseph, like I said, is an aggressive DC. So they have the players to be aggressive. Singleton and Browning being out are big factors. So we'll see if he's as aggressive as he might otherwise be with these two very good players out. But we'll have to see. Now, how are they doing on offense? You might say. Well, let's take a look here. Tyler Batty's number one, but he's a part-time running back. He's their third stringer. But look at Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds, this is an underrated wide receiver. Um, no one really knows who he is, but he just does a good job wherever he goes. Um, and you can see McGlinchey was one of their highest-rated offensive linemen. The guy who came in for him has been doing well, but only 70 snaps, so we'll see about him. Now, the problem that they have is that Wattenberg, their center. Pert is a backup. Powers, their guard. Bowles, their tackle. These people are not doing too well. Powers. So you can see their line is sort of average, I would say, at this point in time to below average. Garrett Bowles, still too many penalties. I guess I thought he kicked that habit, but he's leading the team in penalties still. So that's his problem. And usually you get penalties when you get beat and you hold to stop the person. But look at Quinn Miners, okay? Even Quinn Miners, one of their highest graded guys, only average. This is the Belly, Quinn the Belly Miners. So I would say their offensive line is average to below average based on these grades. At least so far it has performed that way. So what they're going to do is compensate for that and get the ball out quickly. That's what they're going to try to do. Bo Nix, so far, slightly below average, but he's a rookie. So now speaking of Bo Nix, let's check him out. Here he is. Now, the interesting thing is 62% completions is pretty good. No touchdowns, 4 interceptions is not good. So you got to clean that up. But the interesting thing here, he does have 4 big time throws. So he is taking some chances and hitting them. But he's got to obviously clean this up. Turnover worthy plays, TWP. He has to clean those up. But otherwise, he's mostly a check down Charlie, but he will take some chances down the field when he has them. And he has made 4 big time throws in 3 games. So that's interesting. I wouldn't have suspected that. Now, is time to throw the other thing we like to check? Time to throw. You want this at 2.5 or less. He's 2.85, so a little bit high, but not crazy. So he's getting the ball out pretty quickly. Now, the other thing with Bo Nix, of course, you see his running grade. You see his running grade. Now, this is an athletic quarterback. So this is one of these scrambler guys. When he runs, he's very good at running. He's fast and he's also decisive and he's comfortable out there doing it. Some guys who are fast and quick and so forth, they don't like running. They're unsure of themselves. Not this guy. Remember, he has like 750 games played of college experience, most ever. So, of course, he should be comfortable, should be the most ready. But of NFL ready, of all the young guys coming in, played so much in college. But that's something with him you do have to worry about. He will scramble, and he is really good at it. All right, all that being said, let's do some film study. Now, what do I have matched up here? So I wanted to take a look at all the third downs where Nix is passing. So these are all the third downs. So let's take a look and see what the Broncos really like to do on third down, passing wise. Because the run game is going to be what every team does against us against the run. For the run, they're going to run duo. They're going to run inside zone. They're going to run it right up the gut against our defense because that is a weakness of our defense, and everybody knows that. So that's what they're going to do, and hopefully we perform well against it and get them in third and longs. But what teams do on third down is going to be differentiated. So I thought we would take a look. Now this is third down and 5 in the first quarter, 8 minutes and 6 seconds left. The Broncos are up by 7. This is against Tampa Bay. Now they're in 12 personnel here. I wonder if I can keep this on top. Let's see. They're in 12 personnel here. I cannot. Okay. Um, you can see here's Jonathan. So here's a good illustration of. No, this is not Jonathan. This is someone who looks like Jonathan. This is Yaya Darby, I think. DRB. Anyway, the Broncos are in 12. Here's Dulcich. Here's their 11, 3 wide receivers, and you got Javante right here. All right, so we got a stack. We got a 2-by-1, 2-by-2 formation, and we're going to run probably a high-low here. Yeah, basically a high-low concept here, and obviously some wrong communication. This was supposed to be probably an out route, you think. Nick, somebody was wrong here. They didn't hit it. All right, here's another situation. 3rd and 3, Broncos are up by 14 points. 3rd and 3, and they're going to pass out of it. So interestingly, we're probably going to be in nickel. When they come in with 11, we're going to be in nickel. Got Dulcich wide here. And one of my running backs is somewhere. This might be Dulcich. I'm not sure who this is. Maybe one of my running backs. So we're splitting people out. It's 3rd and 3, and we're going no empty backfield. So we're going empty. Okay, here's an amoeba front out of the Buccaneers. Their head coach is Todd Bowles. He's similar to Vance Joseph. He loves to do these sim pressures. Which one of these is coming? So you better have your offensive line communicating very well to understand who's coming, who's not coming. There's an amoeba front. They got too many. What's going on? Some of these are going to back out. Interesting. Here comes this guy. But you should notice Nix and the team, plays it well. Doesn't let this guy come in, gets rid of the ball, and he's got a guy open. Hits him, but decent tackling, and looks like they're a little short. So I would say this is good processing by the quarterback. I mean, this doesn't look like much, but he takes what the defense gives him. He doesn't get confused and worried by the amoeba front, all these people, who's coming, who's not coming. Troyinka. Now, Vita Vea didn't play in this game, and that's a big factor for them. But, and just get rid of the ball. Remember, we had all these conversations about Zach Wilson. Just make the easy stuff easy. Here's a guy making easy stuff easy. Get the ball out to your guy and hope he breaks a tackle and gets a first down. Best you can do here. This case didn't happen, but avoid catastrophe. If you think too much and you worry and you double hitch And you take a sack, and now it's a big trouble. You don't want that. All right, let's take a look at this. They're down in 13. Okay, so here's third and long. So Sala and Ulbrich are salivating. It's third and 13. Okay, we got our 11 personnel. For us, we're going to have Michael Carter in the slot covering this guy. This is Sutton, I think. Hard to tell with these numbers. Um, but again, 11 personnel on third and 13. Here's the first downs around the 10-yard line. Okay. They just rush four, and they just run a screen. Okay. So here's a situation where they were happy with a short gain. Let's get it. Let's kick a field goal. Not bad. And you could see they're just happy to take. Here's third and 20. I guess they had a penalty on that one. So here's third and 20. Same situation. And they're just happy to take what you give them. And let's play smart. Look at this. Smart little play. Let's just get a few yards, get closer, kick a damn field goal. We'll go up 17 points. Play situational football. Don't be a hero. Zach Wilson. Oddly enough, Zach Wilson's on this team. Right? Same situation. Third and long. 11 personnel. Again, amoeba front from what's his name? And look, here's a run option. Okay. This is something we have to watch out for too. Here's Jordan Whitehead, dum dum, and he bites. Now you're looking at this mesh point. He's reading here. Look at his eyes. He's reading Jordan, and he sees that Jordan is biting hard on this. So what does he do? Well, he's the experienced quarterback, keeping it. See ya, Jordan. Bye bye. And look at him running. He's a good runner. First down. Right. So we got to watch that, and that's going to be tricky. Those RPOs are hard to defend. You got to bite on something. Got to make it. And whatever way Jordan would have chose, he would have done the opposite. If Jordan would have stopped and held the edge, well, then he would have given it. That's the difficulty with these RPOs. They're difficult. If Jordan stops his feet, you just give it, and then he goes right here or over here. Which makes you. That's the whole idea of these RPOs. Makes you choose your path, and then it makes you lose your way no matter what. All right. So let's see what's going on here. Third and long again. But you can see how comfortable Bo Nix is. He doesn't look like a rookie again. 7,000 games played in college. He shouldn't look like a rookie. But he doesn't. And he looks comfortable. And that's good. Now we got a bunch formation over here on third and long. Again, amoeba front. We're going to sim pressure. We're going to try and confuse you. Good blocking. Terrible throw. All right, here's a bad decision. You got to pick that off. You can't drop it. Now, Nix is not great where he needs to have a rifle arm. He has a good arm, it's fine. But, not a rifle. And so here they bring five and they block it up pretty good. Give him enough time. Maybe you'd like a little bit more time. But he gets a throw off, and that's not a good idea. So, the kid has, we saw, 5 turnover worthy plays. This would be called a turnover worthy play, probably. But it's not an interception, so it doesn't go on his official ledger, which is the point of that PFF thing that they do. All right, now we may want to spy on him. So a situation like this, we might want to move, Will McDonald to the inside, fake Basically, kind of like engage with one of these dudes a little bit and then back off and just spy on Nix to make sure he doesn't kill us with his scrambling. They don't do this here, but a nice little pass to the outside gets a nice gainer, breaks a tackle, and makes it even better. This is one of the reasons you want to do the easy things and make them easy. Sometimes you get a break, and a guy breaks a tackle and can get extra yardage. But if you try to get everything all at once, now look, we're bringing this guy here late. He just runs right into the tackle. I don't know what the point of that is. Just take a guy out of the situation, and now there he goes. So he can do the obviously simple things. So this is not a typical rookie, and he's going to get confused. He's going to get, this or that. That doesn't mean we shouldn't blitz him. Of course, we should blitz him periodically. Some timely blitzes will be needed. But that's basically Bo Nix. You can see he's decent. He's going to be mostly a check down Charlie, but he will take his shots when he has them, and he's going to play smart. And he's got Sean Payton in his ear, and Payton is just telling sort of stage managing him, like, just get it to this one, get it to that one. It's not a problem. Dump it off, let him break tackles. So the game will not be an easy one, even though we do have a better roster than they do. But I don't think it'll be an easy game at all. But I will say I think the Jets will win 28-20. Give them an 8-point win cover on the spread, but it won't be a blowout in my opinion. I think the Broncos defense is good, and they will be aggressive. They'll probably win a couple of those chess matches with Mr. Aaron Rodgers. And Bo Nix will probably do a few things. There'll be some scrambling yards. We'll see if they're able to run on our run defense. McLaughlin might have a day because he's quick and fast, and if you are not great on your tackling, he's going to squirt through and keep going. He's one of these Energizer Bunny types. So he's tough, and they'll probably have some screens for him and so forth and so on. So that's basically the game preview. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. Please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get up to 200 subscribers, and we'd like your help with that. Click the like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. And click the bell. Click anything else and you want, because that helps with the with the algorithm. All right. With all that being said, I'll see you.
Non-pertinent. How do you log that non-pertinent?
No drug talk?
They use codes to hide their patron phone numbers. And when someone does use a phone, they don't use names. And if someone does use a name, he's reminded not to. All of that is valuable evidence.
Of what?
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy?
We're building something here, Detective. We're building it from scratch. All the pieces matter.